All right, everybody, and welcome back. Hello. It's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while since I have done a cast, but I'm really happy to be back. I'm all moved into college, and so you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of me, just from a slightly different location. My name is TitanOnFire, and in the bottom left-hand corner for the DreamHack Last Chance Closed Qualifier Korean server, we do have, from Team NV, Creator. And in the top right, the best Terran in the world, potentially ever. That's right, it's Maru. So for those of you who maybe don't quite know how the DreamHack Last Chance qualifiers went, we did have a closed or an open qualifier where any players were kind of allowed to participate, allowed to try and make their way into the closed qualifier. The closed qualifier itself for the main event had players that were invited, of course, from getting placements in GSL and other tournaments like that. And then also you had the list of participants who made it through that open qualifier. And so now we get Maru versus Creator. Two teammates, of course. Creator actually had a really decent showing in, I believe it was Super Tournament. Of course, no spoilers because some people haven't watched it, but Creator has kind of been a player for a while where he's had his ups and downs. There have been moments where we've looked at Creator and we've said, oh my god, Creator looks so good. It looks like suddenly Creator is kind of taking that next step in his play and is going to be able to really start to, bring some really solid games, and then it just kind of falls by the wayside. And he never is quite able to reach that peak. But recently, has been showing some really good games, and I'm really excited, especially for how he's going to be able to do. Oh, sorry about that. And so, again, we'll see how he ends up doing in this match. Of course, when you're playing against one of your teammates, that is always an extra little challenge, especially when your teammate is Maru, of all people. Does just, it's that extra little challenge. Now, something interesting to note here, and this is something that I haven't gone to talk about a lot, is kind of the variations in Terran openings in TVP. So we will be paying attention, of course, a little bit to what Creator is doing, but right now it is just a normal opening, as that Reaper is going to be able to get away. But Creator's opening so far has been pretty normal. Now, Maru is the one that's going to try and be a little bit proactive because you have concussive shells already on the way and Marauders in production. Now, if you're wondering, well, why do you go Marauders right off the bat? And the answer is it's very safe, because Marauders do actually very decently against Adepts. Of course, they're not going to kill them the fastest, but they're not going to die to them either. And if your opponent goes Stalkers for that early pressure, well, 2-3 Marauders will absolutely shut that down, especially with the concussive shell upgrade. And so it allows for a very easy transition for Maru into the 3 racks that he's going for, which will, of course, be following up with Stim. We'll be just producing a whole lot of Marines, and then we'll be trying to hit right around that 5-minute mark before the Protoss really has their tech out. But that is a very early robotics bay coming out from Creator almost immediately. So he's going to be looking potentially to get into what this looks like to be Disruptor drops, which is a very interesting matchup when it comes to these two builds. And I would love to see how Creator does end up handling it, as the Reaper's going to find its way in. And, well, there is full information for Maru on what is going on, as the robotics bay has been scouted. And now you have the 2 Marauders pushing down in the front. A single Adept here to try and stop it. There's a shield battery, so nothing should die here for Creator, especially with the Adept. There we go. Shades back. Doesn't take altogether that much damage. Apologies for that little lag spike. But it's going to be hard to chase it down as the Marauders split their fire. Now we'll look to focus down onto the Stalker, and one more shot should do it. There we go. Maru able to get the Stalker, and now Creator accidentally finishes the Shade. And that just means that, Marauders should get away. There's reinforcements coming. Now you're going to be having the full power of this 3 racks coming through. Going to be trying to just absolutely shred through these Adepts, and they're going to have no trouble with that. Uh-oh, Creator, what do you have? Well, it's immediately a Colossus in production, so actually not even Disruptors. It's going to be a Colossus, which is very good for holding on. Looks like the plan was Colossus drop right off the bat, but you have to be so careful. There we go, the Warp Prism shuttles away the Stalkers, and there really shouldn't be too much more damage that Maru is able to get here with this push. Use the stim to get away, and now we have the Colossus drop on the way for Creator. Well, what's at home for Maru? Have an observer, keeping an eye on things. It has been, of course, the delayed factory when you're going for a 3 racks opening. It's just not going to be as fast. You're not going to have these tech units out as early as you would with a 1-1-1. And then also the starport will be finished up soon, but it won't be done in time for this warp prism, especially if you want to get a Viking early. You're just not going to have it. There's extend thermal lance on the way, more Colossus in production with that 3rd base, so Creator going to be transitioning out of this fairly well as the Colossus comes on in, and here's where the annoyance starts for Maru. A single Marauder just going to be used to poke it down, and very well handled so far, only loses 2 SCVs right off the bat. As the bio being split, and well, it doesn't look like Creator's really going to get much of an opportunity to get too much more damage done with the Colossus drop. Forge and a Twilight Council immediately placed down to start to get into those ground upgrades, to start to work towards a bit of a more diverse composition for the Protoss. Of course, just having Colossus and, you know, a few sentries, not the best at fighting the bio army that Maru is going to be building. With +1 already going to be finished, combat shields done. It's a very strong army right now for Maru, sitting at already, 39 army supply, has every upgrade aside from combat shields done. Oh no, does have combat shields done as well. So has every upgrade for these Marines and Marauders. See, the Colossus once again goes in, is just not able to find too much damage, and a double drop immediately loaded up. I love this from Maru. He's about to get so aggressive with it. And that's going to be headed straight towards the natural as +1 armor now on the way. The 3rd base as coming alongside the 3rd Colossus, finishing up for Creator, who's at that magic number now where you're just going to feel a little bit safer. You can one-swipe the Marines. You're not really going to be under threat of a massive bio push. The only real threat that Maru has right now on the map is the Marauders and the 3 tanks. You know, getting out these early tanks, they do not take a lot of damage from Colossus. You're only sitting at 5 Stalkers, and Blink is not done. Maru is going to look for a double-pronged attack here, and I don't know if Creator's quite ready. I mean, he's trying to get in position where everything, has units stationed at his natural base for this double drop. Maru's just going to unload, but here's the Colossus as well. Maru has to get on out. Pulls the trigger on that just a little bit soon. Loads up a 2nd double drop, though. And he's going to send that out. Will it be seen by the hallucination? Yes, it will. Warp Prism catches it as well. And Maru right now just unloading his drops. Kind of going to have to concede the pressure for the time being. As it looks like this game gonna start to even out a little bit. You know, we got a little bit of the cheeky openings. We got the 3 racks. We got the Concussive Shell Marauders. The Colossus drop, none of it really getting any damage done. But now we're gonna see what Maru can do here. These 2 double drops loaded up are so dangerous. There's so many Marauders here. And I just, there's so much DPS. The Nexus might just go down. Another stim. A cancel is forced. And Maru only loses 1 or 2 Marauders for all of that so far. It's been a very cost-efficient game for both of these players. There's now the 2nd double drop going to make its way towards the natural. What's here? A Colossus and 2 Templar. Storm isn't done yet, but Maru doesn't know that, so has to back away. Doesn't want to risk losing those units. As the defensive setup for the Terran, of course, very, very solid. And Widowmine production has also begun. Swapping over those add-ons so you can have more tech labs available. And missile turrets being built to help deal with the observers, sorry. Although this observer for Creator has been hanging around for a majority of this game, and nothing has really been done about it. It's just been hanging out there, getting full vision on what Maru's army composition is and where he's moving, which is, I mean, it's been so helpful for Creator right now, who's getting into his +2/+1, is establishing this 4th base, and is honestly in a very solid spot. It was looking scary for a few, for a few minutes when Maru had, a large army, was going to be capable of pushing when the upgrades weren't done, but that time period has passed. Storm is now done. You have the 2 big sources of AoE for the Protoss army in the Colossus and those High Templar. And now you're seeing Creator just split up his Zealots, make sure he knows where Maru is, make sure he knows where these move-outs are. And at this point in the game, Maru, it looks like he might just have to sit back and go into a macro game, as there we go, double disruptor production. The final piece of the puzzle here for Creator to finish off this ground army as he starts also looking for that air. The Stargate to get into the carriers, the Tempests, whatever choice of air units he really desires. And the army for the Protoss here is quite deadly. I mean, you have 2 High Templar loaded up into this Speed Warp Prism. It's such a dangerous prospect. There we go. Storm goes down. Isn't able to catch anybody, but Crater still looking to push. Will pull back. Recognizes that he can't go in. As Maru has started up his +2/+2. Ship, weapons, and Viking production already on the way alongside the Fusion Core. So going to be really getting a very, very quick advanced ballistics. Getting those Liberator upgrades for the late game when you want to be able to zone away the ground army. And that's one of the interesting things about the Terran composition in the late game is, of course, it's very reliant on your ghosts, but it's the choice of air units that you add on in. Because, of course, you do need medevacs in order to, drop, in order to be mobile around the map, to have the healing for your bio. But you can't overbuild them because you also are going to need Vikings to deal with the Colossus, and then adding on Liberators to help deal and zone out especially the Disruptors and the Stalkers that are going to want to push forward to kind of snipe the Vikings. And so Maru already on top of that, 3 command centers going down as his 4th base has been established and is now mining. Creator on 5 himself with a 6th on the way, and carrier production is on the way. Both these players embracing this late game as Creator looks like he seems to have found an opening. Doesn't want to commit on in as the army is brought over. Oh, that disruptor shot. It's a good chunk of the Terran bio. It's advanced ballistics on the way, more Liberators, and this 2-2 finishing up for Maru. I mean, usually that's your timing kind of, is your 2-2. You have ghosts, you have 2-2, you can push, but honestly, Creator isn't that far behind. Creator's working on his +3 ground weapons. Creator's working on his +2 armor while getting carriers. Creator has the economy to do all this because aside from the single cancel onto his 4th base, he really has not been bothered. He really has not had any issue with, macroing up. He's been sitting on 82 workers for the past, 4 to 5 minutes. And so it's a very, very strong army here for Creator. As Maru is, of course, getting up the double Stargate production, currently sitting at 8 barracks. And this is where you usually want to be as the Terran, is you get, go up to 5 racks. As you're taking your 3rd with 2-2, you want to get your ghosts out onto the map. And then as soon as you're in a comfortable spot, 8 barracks, 2 starports, and that will really help you complete your late game army. Of course, variation added depending on what the Protoss is going, as 6 more gateways are popped down for Creator, making sure that he's going to have enough to reinforce if it comes to a big fight. And look at these upgrades for the Protoss. That's a double cybernetics core even built, just because Creator wants to get these upgrades for these carriers that are going to be so, so deadly. 3 of them out. No more can be built just because of a supply, or just because Creator's already sitting at max supply. As Maru snipes Stalker. That's about it. And both players posturing, but neither of them really able to do anything. As the 5th base is going to go down for Maru. +2 ship weapons is also going to really bolster this Terran army. But, I say bolster, but it's so hard to really, comprehend how good the upgrades are going to be for Creator. You're going to have +2 ship weapons, +1 ship armor, and +3/+3 for your ground units. Or sorry, just the +3/+2. Ground armor hasn't started just yet. And Creator's bank right now is absolutely massive. He's sitting at 3K in the bank. And Maru just hasn't been able to do anything. Maru hasn't felt comfortable pushing out. Maru hasn't felt like he can really get out on the map. He's been turtling up. He's getting nukes and more Ghost Academies. We're going ultra late game here on Glittering Ashes. What a game to come back to. I am living for this. As there we go, shields. Shield upgrades, tectonic destabilizers. Just get the whole kitchen. Why not? That's the stage of the game that we're in right now, is may as well get every upgrade that can be slightly useful to you. And of course, Tempests are going to be very, very good later in the game for dealing with the Liberator sieges. As the nuke goes down, doesn't look like it's going to get too much damage other than maybe a kill on a pylon and a cannon. But the first nuke of the game has been dropped. And there are going to be more to follow, man. It has been so long since I have seen Maru and Nukes, but name a more iconic duo than the man who managed to pretty much be the sole reason why Solar never got a tournament win. Like, when Solar was playing so well, it was always Maru who showed up with the nukes. They shut him down as, oh my god, this ghost. Just in range of that observer. Wasn't able to get off the shot. It's another nuke going down. This one pocketed away. Oh, that disruptor shot. Marauders, Marines, the whole basket getting eliminated. As Maru just trying to fight this army. Tanks a storm, but is going to be able to land the nuke. Doesn't get altogether that much damage, but does delay the mining. The real worry for Maru here is just the macro. I mean, there are so many command centers that are available for Maru. He's going to have infinite scans. He is going to be able to retreat onto them. Even if base dies, he can replenish it. The real worry is if Creator is able to get a strong enough army that he's willing to push or to start death pushing the Terran before Maru is able to build up the bank himself. As another nuke going down. This one, again, out of cannon range. Creator pulls back. He's going to lose altogether that much. But right now for Creator, I mean, I feel like you need to be active. You know, the longer you sit back, it's actually going to get worse and worse. And the main reason why is because Maru has not been taking bases as quickly as Creator. Creator has been absolutely expanding like a madman. Currently sitting at 6 bases, taking a 7th. And Maru's usually been 1 base behind, which is just how it goes in this matchup, in TVP. But Maru's going to be able to mine out this map for longer as, ooh, Cloak ends. DT should be able to get the cancel on that nuke, but more are going down. Maru being absolutely relentless. This one, though, might be a little bit hidden. I don't know if Creator sees it. The red dot. There we go. Okay. Observer comes back. But more nukes being thrown out. Maru just absolutely... This is absolutely crazy. As that one is also dealt with. Creator is absolutely on fire this game. You know, I've been talking a lot about Maru, but I gotta say, Creator has been playing a beautiful game. Dealing with these nukes, dealing with the army movement of Maru. And now has, I mean, a unit composition that... I mean, unfortunately, the thing is, Maru has had time to build up, I think, a army that counters what Creator has a little bit better. Of course, you have a massive Viking flock. You're sitting at 17 Vikings. So, you know, even with this high carrier count that Creator has been building up, it's not going to be that useful because Maru's air army is just so large. And so if Maru focus fires, if Maru is able to eliminate those carriers, then suddenly that's a lot of the fighting force of Creator just gone down the drain. It's the same case with the Colossus. They are pretty much going to be useless as, oh no, Creator doesn't see the nuke, and we're going to get the first big one to land. That's probably the first exciting thing that has happened about the past 16 minutes as Maru is able to catch out these Immortals. He's going to keep trying to stim it down, pick up. Manages to get 2 Immortals, 10 probe kills, and now another nuke onto this base. Does not want to let Creator mine from it, and this is absolutely how you need to play this out. And for Creator, he's still just building more carriers. And I really feel like, I mean, this is about the time when I think you need to add on, you know, you need to add on your Tempests. You have Tectonic Destabilizers, but those are a much better unit for sieging from range, for dealing with, you know, these Viking flocks. They're able to, you know, kind of chunk them down, as it looks like one more nuke, and this base will end up falling. More CCs on the way for Maru, though, keeping his spending up, making sure that he has mules, making sure that, I mean, really, even if Maru loses workers, it's not going to matter. Because Maru right now is sitting in a position where he can put all of his SCVs onto mining gas. And he'll have enough mules to comfortably be able to deal with what, I mean, to mine enough to rebuild whatever he needs. But the air upgrades are coming through. Creator, 10 carriers. But mind you, that's 10 carriers versus 19 Vikings and 10 Liberators. It's a strong air army for Creator. It is a strong air army. But my worry is that when it comes to the straight up micro ability, carriers, there's not a lot you can do with them. The carriers are really a unit where you send out the interceptors, you pull back, and then you're microing everything else. And so if it comes to a straight up micro battle, it's all into the hands of Maru, which is never a position that you want to be in, as the DT is going to come on over with the speed observer. Blink back. get rid of the ghosts, but more nukes going to go down as Maru is just setting up these little positions of missile turrets and sensor towers. Creator going to try and stop that from happening. He's not very happy with it, as these 3 Colossus, who, I mean, mind you, have been alive for this entire game. Well, there we go. 1 gets killed to make room for a Tempest and 2 Oracles. A bit more consistent vision the Oracles do offer with that revelation. And of course, as I said, the Tempest, such a good unit to add on. Would really actually like to see more of them from Creator. Right now, these Colossus, kind of deadweight. You have the Disruptors. They are a more volatile source of AoE than you're going to get from the Colossus. You have the 6 High Templar, you have the Storms, and you have the money as well. And I do like this. Creator going to use this Colossus to just try and harass, be annoying. It will eventually get dealt with by the flock of Vikings that's going to come on over, shoot out 1 volley, and that is a very, very dead Colossus. And finally, that supply going to be gonna be freed up for the Protoss player, who's sitting at an 8k bank. We're 21 minutes into this game. Neither of these players really doing anything. Another big nuke gonna land though, and Maru just finding these openings where he's just out of vision. Oracle's gonna come on over. Is there a revelation? Observer. Okay. Luckily the Observer sees it, so you don't get another big nuke. But 16 more workers going down. Creator gonna try and remake them as more Tempests are being added on 4 at a time, and Creator fully embracing this air army. He has all the upgrades. This is the clean sweep, aside from maybe shield. Yeah, Protoss shielding, level 3. As a Tempest gets sniped there. You have to be so careful with this army if you are Maru. If any of the splash damage sits on his units for any amount of time, it's not going to be very good as the Creator pushes. You hear it there. 2 more nukes going down as well. Immediately the Vikings go for it, manage to snipe off one of the carriers. As the nukes are going to land, that one just going to get cannons. This one also not going to get a lot of value. Only 9 workers go down, but it's dropping Creator to 49 workers. Is he now going to try and push this planetary down? The carriers absolutely DPS through it. Maru doesn't really have a ground army to speak of. It's the air army and ghosts for Maru right now. And more nukes going out. He's just trying to get rid of these bases. He's trying to stop Creator from mining, because he knows that if he's able to, then Creator is going to run through this bank. Cannons are being cleaned up. And Creator right now is only mining from this center base here and the one on the left flank. But he's going to continue to try and push. Ghosts are here, though. Immediately, Tempests get sniped. You have to be so careful with these Tempests. They are the key for Creator, for pushing. They are the key to getting rid of this Viking flock. But you need to pull them back. You need to be careful with your micro as the carriers are going forward. But the focus fire from Maru. Immediately, 2 carriers go down. Some massive storms from Creator. And this Protoss army is just so scary. As Creator going to try and push in all that storm. All of the Vikings in the red. The Interceptors come through. They're going to knock them down. Now the Bio going to come in and try and help out. The Interceptor count is falling, but still 32 remain. Creator, he has the bank to keep this up. More Warpins coming through. 8 Stalkers. He knows that he has enough. There is, I mean, it's not going to land, but a nuke was put down, and I think Creator's going to death push this down. Maru, let it go to the late game. It didn't work on out. Creator finally finds the opening, and he still has 4k minerals in the bank. He is absolutely comfortable. Maru's going to try and play this out, but the Protoss Armada absolutely going to be able to clean up what there is left. 6 Archons to boot. Creator, what a game. Some incredible macro that he has shown so far. And of course, mind you, this is the upper bracket, so the player that loses here is not out. As Creator, really the job is just clean up whatever you can with these Stalkers. Stop as much mining as possible, because that's 3,000 minerals as Maru drops all of the mules that he can. Another nuke goes down as Creator trying to push forward. The Ghost hasn't died just yet. Wait a second. Is there any vision here? Creator is going to split his units up, recognizes where the nuke is. So even though the Ghost doesn't get sniped, it doesn't matter. Maru just trying to hold on to this high ground. Supply is dropping for Creator, but again, he has the bank. Actually, Creator just doesn't have the bank. He is the bank. He has rebuilt his entire army now at this point. And it's such a supply-intensive army for Creator. I mean, look at that army value. 8,000 minerals, 5,000 gas. Good EMPs onto the Tempest, but there's just not a lot of Vikings left. And now these bases can go down. And I think for Creator, really, you should be eliminating these bases. Because if you allow Maru to rebuild, then if you allow him to keep mining, then Maru can rebuild. And the thing is, Creator spent a lot of money remaxing, but Maru has been able to put down mule hammers to start to mine down these bases. And Creator just hasn't pushed them. And he absolutely can. As it Storm onto the bio, doesn't get too much value. Creator's maxed out. Again, he's going to start to build a bit of a bank. It's great EMPs onto the Stalkers. We're still having this dance. Maru has almost gotten to remaxed. 181 supply. Again, these bases being just completely unbothered. Being able to drop all of his mule energy. Such a big help to the Korean Terran right now. Who it looked like might just end up falling. It looked like he might just lose the game there, but this army for Maru is scary again. He's got so much bio. 42 Marines is not something to scoff at, especially when you only have 2 High Templar. And yes, they're in a Warp Prism, but even then, if the EMPs are fast enough, if the splits are good enough, then that doesn't really matter because you have 7 Ghosts. And so, you know, the splash damage for Creator, it's significantly reduced. It's only 2 Disruptors. Now 3 High Templar being, or a single more High Templar being added on. There's not a lot of splash. And if you get rid of the Interceptors, this army is suddenly a whole lot less useful as the blink forward onto the Planetary Fortress, but it does not take a lot of damage, and Maru is here. Maybe be able to clean up the rest of these Stalkers, as well as the Dark Templar. And those are the types of moves that you can't really afford if you're Creator. I mean, sure, those are expendable units, but you just don't want to give the Terran a back into this game, and that's what it feels like is happening right now. And yes, the army value. The army is actually in favor of Maru right now. I mean, somehow. I actually have no idea how that's possible, but Maru right now does have, I mean, the more valuable army, Mineral Rise, but of course, he's the one that can't replace it. That means that Maru needs to just win a fight. There is going to be no chances for Maru if he loses. If Creator is able to clean up his army, if Creator is able to then death push down, there's nothing that Maru can do to remax. Creator has that option, though. So this next fight is going to be ever so important. As CC has been landed down, Maru going to start to remine out this center base. The nukes start up once again. Great EMP onto 2 of the 4 High Templar that are available for Creator. Where are the other ones? All right, the other ones are pocketed back. But this stack defense is going to start to be cleaned up just a little bit. We're going to start to find his way back into this game as he's now maxed out himself. We're going to see that gas being mined here at these bases fairly shortly. So that is actually what Maru is lacking the most. Mind you, again, he has that mule energy. A lot of his command centers were cleaned up. And oh my god, this Dark Templar, that could be massive. I mean, sure, Maru doesn't have a lot of money to remax with anyway, but those add-ons going down is going to hurt if that Dark Templar can keep going. And I don't think Maru actually has any intention to stop it. I think Maru realizes that this is his one army. Even if it's an even fight, he knows that he's not going to be able to remax, and his opponent will. As the bio, going to be able to stop this base from going up in the top left. And these are the 2 hardest bases to take on the map. So no surprise there is, oh, the EMPs! Maru catches Creator on a move command. All the Disruptors are gone. All of the High Templar are gone. It's just the air army and the carriers. What are you going to do? It's Marines. They shoot so fast. Another High Templar going to fall. Uh-oh, Creator. Was this the misstep that Maru needed to get back into this game? It certainly feels like it, as we're almost 30 minutes through. And Maru, I mean, he was in his main base. He was turtling up. And now suddenly, it seems like he has a foot back in this game. He's up 30 supply. Creator's trying to remax on more Tempests, which I think is the right call, but he also needs that splash damage. Disruptor's coming on out. I would love to see more High Templar. 4 are available, but there's no Archons to speak of. And of course, the Archon's a bit of a strange unit. They're not the most useful just because of that Ghost EMP. But my Maru. How he has found himself back into this game, I do not know. And of course, you know, a bit of a helping hand that Creator did not go for his extra bases. I mean, the fact that this bottom right has been mining this entire time, that saved Maru so badly. And now more CCs are going to go down. Gas is going to start mining. This bottom right base is going to go up for Maru, but it looks like Creator is moving out to try and finally shut this down. This is what he needed to do. You know, 6-8 minutes ago when he was death pushing down Maru's door. You need to clean up these bases. You need to make sure that your opponent can't remax. That didn't happen though. And now suddenly Creator is, I mean, he's in a worrisome spot. It's still not a bad spot though. Of course, it's hard when you're talking about Maru to disfavor him, but Creator still has a bank. Of course, he's not going to be able to remax on these gas intensive units because his gas bank is only at 2k. It's not that high compared to what you need to rebuild this army, which is 6,000 gas. And Maru just gonna go for a split push, snipes another High Templar. DT goes down, disruptor shot, oh my! It's so much value as these players just trading blows back and forth. Bases are gonna go down on either side. I mean, this is almost a pseudo base race in and among itself. As we're gonna see what the remaxes are for both of these players. They have just enough money to remax what they lost for this base trade. For Maru, more Vikings and Liberators. For Creator, more Disruptors, and that's absolutely the right call. Disruptors, when it's such a bio-heavy force for Maru that he's had to remax on, those Disruptors are going to be so useful for zoning out the Marines, for forcing Maru to split, especially. So you have the Mothership and the Tempest pushing down this position. Oh, you have to watch out, though. High Templar and the Warp Prism. Maru has to be careful. Doesn't commit very hard. Takes a lot of damage, though. But the bases are down for both players. There's barely any mining. I think Creator right now is the only one mining with, what, 2 bases? Actually, this base is still mining because Maru nuked it so early. Actually, surprisingly, still has minerals left for Creator to use. As there's just more Vikings for Maru. Getting back into this air army. Feels like 3 times I've said that this should be it, that Maru can't remax, but he does it time and time again. Of course, that was just, you know, losing small chunks of your army. It wasn't like there was a massive fight ensuing, but here we go. Maru, he's looking to commit on in. The Disruptor immediately gets sniped. The shot doesn't go off. 2 more Disruptor shots are wasted on the flank. There immediately has to be a recall. Storms go down. A lot of the army is going to get out for Creators. These Disruptors trying to find as much value as they can, but they have to back on up. Their shots are down. Where's the pickup? It doesn't come through. As the Mothership able to save the last few remnants of this army, and Creator once again has to rebuild. Once again, it hasn't been able to kill Maru. 22 workers. A whole bunch of bio and a dream. This is the most micro-intensive army that you could ever have to fight what Creator is using. And Maru's going to try and do it. As there we go, snipe on the Mothership. And the gas is out for Creator. 1 base mining gas for him, and that is it. That is all that he has. So no matter how much of a mineral bank you have, you're only going to be able to build Zealots. And that's not a very... it's not a good prospect for the NV Protoss, as Maru has managed to establish a base here in the top right. He's going to start back up his mining, as he is also getting gas from the central base as well. Creator just trying to establish a nexus, trying to establish a base. These Vikings immediately going to be able to snipe down one of the carriers. Sorry. But still, neither player committing in. This game, 34 minutes long, man. I thought this was going to be a short one, too. I'll be honest. I came into this game thinking that there's no way it would go this long, but here we are. 2 massive armies looking to face off. Does feel like, though, Creator right now, he's the one that, I mean, needs to make something work. He has the Tempest count right now, sitting at 15. They will one-shot any unit that Maru has. Apologies for those lag spikes. Wi-Fi being a bit spotty here around the campus, but hey, that's what you got to deal with. Is both players once again maxed out. 16 Tempests is the call for Creator this time. 6 carriers. A real worry, though, is the splash damage. Only 2 High Templar, only 2 Disruptors, and it is still 33 Marines, 16 Marauders. As stasis traps being set on up by these Oracles. Trying to use up all this energy. And I mean, these 3 Oracles that Creator invested in have gotten so much value. It is quite insane. Just the scouting information he's gotten is, oh, Creator's committing on in. But here comes Maru, the full surround. Immediately the EMP's onto the High Templar, and both of them are down. Maru's going in for the full surround. Are there enough carriers? No, EMP's onto all of the Tempests. And the Interceptors are going to fall. The carriers are forfeit. The Tempests are just going to try and get away. They're going to shoot down as much of the air army as they can on the retreat. And Creator, more Warpins come through, but that's all of his money. Maru, he has so much weak bio, but it doesn't matter. He can heal it back up. And somehow Maru is able to take that fight. Creator, he's trying to rebuild workers. He's trying to get back into a decent economy. But he just does not have a lot to work with. Again, the lack of splash damage. The bio is just able to absolutely demolish the ground army. But Creator is winning in the air. 16 Tempests still alive. He got most of them out. Did not take too much damage to that count. And it was, I think, the best idea to sack the carriers. They were the least useful thing in that army. As, oh no, Creator, you step too far forward. EMPs, you're going to have to use that recall, but you're going to lose so much for it. 127 supply left. Creator, so close in this game, but I think it's just barely out of his reach now, as the 3-3 bio of Maru, the stim-ins, the recognition of when his opponent is too far forward and out of position, and now he's going to look for the death push. This is the last base of Creator that is mining, and it is going to go down. A good storm weakens up a lot of this bio, but where's, any AoE to finish it off? There we go. 2 more storms go down. Oh, a lot of Maru's army getting low. More Warpins coming through, but the Tempest, they're all that's left. They're trying to knock down the Vikings. They've done so, but the Marines on top of the Tempests are trying to shoot away, and I think it's just enough. It is red and orange bio, but Maru is going to be able to get rid of the last bastions of Creator's army, and he takes game 1. All right, and welcome to our second game of the series. After an absolutely brutal 38-minute game on Glittering Ashes, we are on 2,000 atmospheres. Whew. In the top right-hand corner, I mean, what a game from him. Wasn't able to quite get it in the end, but it's Creator. And in the bottom left, his teammate somehow able to clutch that game back from the jaws of defeat. It is Maru. And let's be honest, I mean, Maru, who else would be able to win that game? Absolutely insane play. You know, sometimes let's just take a breather. And honestly, as I said in that last game, this is the upper bracket, so whichever player loses this still can qualify. So if Creator does end up dropping 2-0 or 2-1, maybe takes a map. If Maru ends up getting kind of 2-1 by Creator, they still will have a chance to qualify for the main event. So there's no worries there for either of them. And of course, that's always a nice situation to be in, where you don't have to eliminate your teammate. But Creator played a really good game 1, and I think it really only came down to one little mistake, and that was when he was pushing down Maru when he got into the natural. Did not go for the other bases. just did not try and cancel them. And I think that's just such a big mistake because Maru, we saw how much money he was able to get from the mule hammers, able to remax, able to get a strong enough army to survive, and then from there was able to, you know, build more command centers and get back into the game. As we're going to see Maru go for the factory first. This is, again, it's a bit different from the 3 racks where you're not really looking to apply a ton of pressure, and it's more so you're looking for that around 745 to 830 timing attack, depending on what version you go for, whether it's with Widow Mines, whether it's with 3 tanks, with Stim, Combat Shields, and +1. And so that's what this build should transition into for Maru, as he is going to cancel that NG Bay, but got a decent block onto the Nexus of Creator, so much so that he's able to start his CC at the exact same time, which you always love to see as a Terran, because honestly, we hate it. We gotta deal with other races taking their bases before us, expanding to their naturals before we have a chance to do anything, and we're not for it, man. You gotta slow them down. That's what you gotta do. As the second rack's on the way from Maru, so of course this is going to be kind of that 2 racks build where, again, you get out the early Cyclone or tank. In this case, Maru is going to go for the Cyclone. And then from there, you get a very, very strong bio army very quickly and look for that kind of deadly timing attack that Maru has actually been doing to perfection lately. No joke, almost every game that I've seen of Maru where he hits this timing attack, it's so hard for his opponent to hold it. I mean, I've seen it kill Zest, Hero, every Protoss. This Twilight Council has been completed. No upgrade on it just yet. Piece of Creator is only, there we go, finally saturates his gas completely. But it looks like it's probably going to be Blink with the robotics facility on the way. We'll see if that starts up. And Maru just playing it completely standard. So after the absolute slugfest of game number 1, we're going to get a little break, which is nice because I always love these little intermissions to talk to you guys, ask how you're doing. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You know, maybe you went out to a party, maybe you were just chilling at home. Of course, still in the midst of a pandemic, so, you know, be responsible, be safe, and all that good stuff. But I hope you're all having a wonderful time and enjoying it with some nice StarCraft 2 action. I know I am. This is my first real break that I've gone to be able to cast, and I always enjoy it. It's nice. Kind of resets my mind, gets me into a zen state, which, you know, might not be believable considering how much I yell in these games, but trust me. 3 more gateways going down, so we are going to be seeing Creator go for the 4-gate Blink Stalker. Again, a build that is attempting to get damage done, but is never going to really kill your opponent unless they make a massive mistake. Is usually how I describe it. I mean, we saw players like Parting kind of master the 4-gate Blink Stalker for a while and really show how you can get damage done with it with some amazing micro. But since then, it kind of has more fallen to, okay, blink in, see how much you can delay the Terran. Can you snipe their stim? Can you snipe their combat shields? Some add-ons or get a tank. It's really the value you're looking for. Of course, you're not going to get that in this game because Maru did go for the 2-1-1, or not the 2-1-1, but the 2 racks opening after the factory. So he's going to have the very, very early stim pack. And it does look like Maru is actually going to look for a push here. So is not going to wait, is going to look for this just Marine Cyclone early push, and he's going to see the first Stalker moving out here for Creator, and that might be a bit of a giveaway, especially with the Warp Prism pickup. This should clue in Maru as to what is happening, but I mean, really, as the Protoss... Oh, great pickup. Oh, that was so clean. But as the Protoss, you really can't afford to push this, especially if stim is done. Maru doesn't stim just yet, though. Creator doesn't know that that upgrade is done. Might have an inkling with how much bio is out on the map. But as soon as you commit to a blink as the Protoss, that's when the Terran's going to stim on in. As the high ground is open, Concussive Shell is going to go down. But it's honestly the least important upgrade, as the Jugglers are going to have to come through. There we go, the blink up, the stim on top of the army. And a Cyclone goes down. But Creator, those 2 Stalkers. So all in all, not that bad of a trade. Could have been a lot worse. Bunker goes up. Can't get the snipe onto the medevac. Maru, just going to look for the timing attack. Right now, you kind of have to sit back. You have to let the Protoss do their thing. There's not much as the Terran that you can do to, slow them down. So behind this creator is going to get into Colossus. He's going to get into his third base. Is going to be completely comfortable doing so. And really the goal for creator is to prepare for the attack that's eventually going to come. As Maru is producing tanks, getting combat shields, he's going to have +1/+1, I'd imagine, for this push. Although, Maru not going to wait for those timings. So, you know what? All I say about these timings, 7:45, 7:30, that doesn't matter. Because Maru's just going to push anyway. Because that's how we do it, as the observer, is going to keep tabs onto that army. Immediately get scanned and killed. Stalker's going to move on in, look for a few SCV kills there for themselves. And it looks like Maru just going to commit to the other side. Going to use the rallying bio to help deal with these Stalkers. Does have 2 Marauders, which is a good amount, but the blink backs are very, very solid. Oh. Oh. That was beautiful, as here we go, Maru at the front, but all those force fields. Absolutely beautiful. Managed to stop the army in its tracks. And Maru gonna have to back up, recuperate for now. Creator did a great job with those force fields. Allowed a lot of bio to go down on a lot of damage to go down onto the bio. Forced the pickup, and now Maru gonna have to recalculate, kind of reassess the situation. As charges on the way, we almost have extended thermal lance done for these Colossus, and that is such a big upgrade to have, especially with 2 Colossus. And I was gonna say working on the third, but actually Creator does not have a third Colossus in production. He's working on a Dark Shrine and +1, so he's not really gonna have the same fighting power as you would if you got that third Colossus out. The same splash damage that you would, as Maru just using these Marauders to push forward, knows that they really just do not take a lot of damage until the Immortal is the one that comes on up. Tank gonna get focused down, but it manages to get away and sieged up. Creator trying to fight this, but now you have Vikings coming on in, and oh my, Maru has so much to work with. Sure, you have 2 Colossus, but does that matter? The bio just constantly moving back. The tanks still shelling away. They've gotten so much value. As the Colossus saved by the shield batteries, but Maru still has his bio force here to fight. He's going to try and stim down onto this Colossus. Oh, so low. Is there a battery overcharge available? No, it was used to keep the Colossus alive. And now that defensive tool is gone for Creator. And at the same time, Maru has established his own third base. Maru is getting into Viking production. Feels like Maru's just really starting to hit these strides. This disruptor shot, not the most value. Creator's gonna try and stand back on it, or try and go back on him. But I mean, you're fighting into 3 tanks, Creator. I don't think that was the call. The Colossus go down. He had to try and break it, but it didn't work out. GG, Maru gonna advance.